Thank you for tuning in to the 2 cents to 2 penny, my podcast. I'm Nino. First of all, thank the man for waking me up this morning and letting me gracefully, with good health, go about my business and conduct my business. Please, people, continue to hit that like button. I'm loving the subscriptions. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, I am really loving the subscriptions, and I appreciate you guys. To all my fans, my audience, and my listeners, thank you for the info that you give me. Thank you for giving me a little bit of your time. Remember, I love your comments, whether they're negative or positive, because whether they're negative or positive, it helps me to grow. So thank you, thank you. Continue doing what you do. I appreciate you. Really, I really do. I had a topic that was thrown at me, and I'm going to get right into it. How many men discretions before women refuse to reconcile? Again, how many men discretions before women refuse to reconcile? Reconciliation after infidelity is a complex issue with varying outcomes depending on specific circumstances. The couple's individual circumstances and their willingness to work through the infidelity. In reality, it's a crapshoot or it's a crap shot. Some couples are cool with reconciliation, and some couples really rather to move on. Yes, because again, it's all kind of layers to this. Maybe it was infidelity, but it's understandable the infidelity can be forgiven, and maybe we can patch up things and get back together. And then again, maybe the severity of the infidelity is just too much. And women, a lot of times, with their emotional states, and I'm not knocking it, I'm just saying women are emotional creatures. So a lot of times, they will get mad and forgive, but a lot of times they will get mad and won't forgive. So again, it is a crapshoot or it's a crap shot. Here are some of the understandings why there's influencing reconciliation decisions. Let me repeat that again. Here is some of the understandings why there are influencing reconciliation decisions. The nature and the severity of the indiscretions. Related betrayals, significant lies, or inconsistencies. Let me repeat that. Related betrayals are significant lies and inconsistencies. Emotional distress or abuse are more likely to lead to a refusal to reconcile than isolated instances or perceived indiscretions. A man always hitting on another woman, right, when he's not from you. And believe me, sooner or later, that you think what you do in the dark won't come out. But fellas, if you're not around your woman and you always hitting on another woman, believe me, sooner or later, it'll come back to bite you. It will. You'll get away with it so long, because one thing I have seen about that, even if the two females, you're female, and say the female that you're hitting on, trying to be slick, trying to be a dog, as we all have been, we all been perceived to be, you don't think they know each other. But I have seen in common daytime, in this world, in this US of A, in this time frame, that even if they don't know each other, they probably have some friends that are cool with each other. And women gonna gossip, especially when they have a new man that's on the horizon that's trying to shoot at them. So then there you go right there. They might not know each other, and you trying to shoot at this other lady, even though you got a woman, but sooner or later, it's gonna get back. So you hitting on, other women while you out of the sight of your female, it will get back to her sooner or later. Then the manipulation of your woman, putting things in her head, making her think she insecure, awakening, or trying to awake her so-called insecurities, in which all you doing is trying to cover your tracks. What's the biggest thing when somebody is doing some wrongdoing, especially with infidelity? They trying to make the other person feel some other kind of way. And I mean that goes for man and a woman. Because see, they're so much trying to put the pressure and lean the problem on you so they can cover what they doing. So you got to watch that too. And women are smart, man. Just like, men are smart. Women should know that too, but women are smart. When they're always asking you certain questions and you not always giving the correct answer, they already have their antennas up about that. They're already about, hey man, something's going on. Another one, a man always lying about his GPS or his location. Or he always, say he has to go to work, but he will be in late. He has something to do. Or he has to leave to go to work a little bit early. That woman is, she's already got red flags about that. She might not say nothing right then and there, but she is seeing that you're out of your normal routine. You had a normal routine, now your routine has turned abnormal because in her mind you're doing something. Women look for a man that's doing the usual same thing, the same routine, the usual. So in her mind, she's saying that why is he leaving a little bit earlier? Why is he always coming home a little bit later? He got to take a little bit more time at the office. Or, you'll throw it off for, well, me and the boys are going to play basketball. Or me and the boys are going to go do this. Going to have a few drinks at the bar. And that could be right. That could be facts. But you best believe what she gonna do is, with you and your homeboy, she gonna call their wives and then get full proof. Well, did so-and-so with so-and-so, are they all together hanging at the bar having a few drinks? And then that's when the truth will come out. Because possibly when your wife calls the wives of the homeboys that you're supposed to be hanging out with, they gonna have no clue what you talking about or what she's talking about. So right then and there, there goes the inconsistencies. Right then and there, she's already thinking, man, this dude is lying. What's going on? And we all know the first thing when a woman thinks her man is coming inconsistent, coming very inconsistent, it has to be infidelity. It has to be infidelity to the fullest. So, and that's how that goes on there. And then again, as I said, always trying to manipulate the whole situation. Overall relationship health. Again, overall relationship health. If y'all relationship was smooth and then it began to turn toxic, then that's going to be red flags too. A weak or sustained or strained relationship before the discrete actions is more susceptible to permanent damage. If you're a womanizer, and believe me, your woman know when you're a womanizer. You always around women. You always just taking shots at women. And I'm talking about not bad shots, very flirtatious. Always, want to, have something to say around the woman. Always want women in your presence. Sometimes us as men, we can't help women in our presence because we might work with them. We might be in a work environment that can't be helped. But on the normal, if you're a married man or in a relationship, ain't no way they figure your woman especially, or anybody, why are you always around all these other women, Even though women get mad that a man spends a lot of time with his boys or his dudes or his fellas, they can put up with that way more better. But you're always around a lot of women, especially at the job or even if you're out and about, and you're always just, around a lot of women. Even if you and your wife are out on a function and, it's just you're the only man around and it's your wife and just a lot of other women. But you are the show of the whole gathering, You just shooting at all other women coolly, or you just making the other women laugh, You just the show. You the life of the party. Women, your woman will be cool with that, but at a point, she looking upside your head like, really? Is this what we doing? Really, is this what we doing? And so, that's crazy too. Individual values and feelings. Some individuals may have a low tolerance for infidelity or betrayal, while others may be more willing to forgive and reconcile. Well, you know what women mostly say, and this goes to a woman and a man. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Basically, this goes on both sides, and I believe this to be facts too. If you cheat once, you're going to cheat again. You're only going to get away with until you get caught. Yeah, I said it. You're only going to get away with things and going to downplay it until you get caught. Then, of course, when you get caught, you're going to get remorseful and I'm sorry. But the only way you did that, because you got caught. You got caught with your hand in the cookie jar. You got caught tipping. You got caught creeping. So, of course, once that unfolds and becomes to the eye, and then, the eye test is evident and it's shown, of course you're going to give remorse and I'm sorry. But I'm firmly on that. If once a cheater, always a cheater. Maybe it is circumstances, and it probably is that, it happened once and it don't happen again. But see, what I'm saying about it is that's playing with temptation with your mind. So once a cheater, basically to me, is always a cheater. But people can change because it's facts to show and it's percentages to show. But I'm just saying, me thinking, and I believe a lot of people thinking, once a cheater, always a cheater. Especially when you got something going good, because I think a lot of times the cheater is basically it's a sickness in your head. Because if you got a good wife or a good partner, she's very attractive, she does good, she's a solid woman. Why do you want to dibble and dabble? Why do you want to cheat? Why do you want to go outside the box? You got it right here, so why do you want to go outside the box? But, of course, there's always the other side of the stone. It's two sides to every situation. Their love can be so deep that they're willing to work on anything or work it out with anything. And that's a lot of women. Sometimes a woman, I believe, has been alone. So, and maybe she loved this man so much that, again, she's like, well, I'm going to give him a second chance. I'm going to give him a second chance. A lot of women are fair. Even though a lot of people think women are cold-hearted and everything, a lot of women are fair. So maybe she was thinking, well, he just slipped up, or I can fix it, so I'm going to give him another chance. Now, saying that, I still think that her trust levels towards you is not going to be the same with how it first started, because that she's giving you another chance, I believe that lady or that woman still has doubt in her head, like, oh, well, I'm going to have to really watch him. And, and even though she gave you another chance because you got caught, with your indiscretions, remember, fellas, she might set up traps for you or give you tests to see, will an old dog go back to old tricks? What's they saying? An old dog need to learn new tricks. But the woman's trying to see, will an old dog continue his old tricks? Meaning, okay, he got caught cheating, so sooner or later, he's going to fall off the wagon and begin cheating again. But again, we will see. Efforts to repair. Again, efforts to repair. And I believe in this. If your partner is willing to seek counseling, responsibility for their wrongdoing, make significant changes to their behavior, it might increase the changes of reconciliation. Let me repeat that again. If your partner is willing to seek counseling and responsibility for their wrongdoing and indiscretions, make significant changes to their behavior, it may increase the changes of reconciliation. Well, I believe anybody that gives effort should be rewarded. Anybody that gives effort that should be rewarded. Me, myself, a lot of time, as I see a relationship, or I would like a relationship with me, all I ask the lady, the woman, is give effort. She don't have to complete the sentence. She don't have to put a period on the sentence. She don't have to complete the task, but just give effort, because I believe effort goes a long way. Do you know how things can be better if people would just try? Because a lot of people don't even want to try. They're like, nah, I'm not going to do that, man. I'm going to let that go. I'm not going to give no effort. But I believe effort does deserve reward. So if they are giving effort, reward them. Try to reconcile. Try to. There's nothing wrong with that. Trying to get back on track. Trying to get back to where it was. Because maybe again, it was just a slip up. Maybe why the infidelity came, because they was mad and that was a little petty way of doing something. But I'm just saying, I wouldn't play with infidelity if I'm actually mad at my partner or my mate. You don't play like that, because most of the time with infidelity, you can't come back off of it. It's something that will get on your back that you can't get off your back. You know how they say, when that monkey's on your back, you trying to shake it, and you got infidelity in the mix. It's hard sometimes to shake it. But again, effort does deserve, a reward. So hey, if you're putting in the effort, willing to go into counseling, willing to rehabilitate, willing to sit down and talk about it, willing to show your loved one or show your partner, bring her flowers, give her more attention, be truthful when you say you're going somewhere. Because again, remember, women gonna have that GPS and that tracker. Even if they really love you, believe that. They gonna have that. I believe that for a fact. And they can do it so smooth without you even knowing. So, just give the effort. Trust and forgiveness. A lack of trust and the inability to forgive can make reconciliation impossible. The damage has been done. We have went too far. It's too far gone to turn back. Yep. Once that trust and that lack of trust and it is gone, and the forgiveness is out the window. Because with any relationship, it's got to be by trust. But, fellas, you'll blow it. You'll tell the woman, you'll have her trust back again, and then you'll get comfortable because she's not nagging you no more, and you're trying to be slick, and then there you go. You're trying to go, you're back to your old tricks. A woman is going to watch you just like you are her child, especially when it comes to infidelity. She's going to watch your every move. She's going to watch your body movement. She's going to watch how when she asks you somebody, your reactions. She's watching all of that. She's watching how you talk. She's watching how suddenly you want to get out of things. Why you in a rush? Where's the attention? Why you don't have no patience? Why you so impatient? Women are watching all of that. Because let's keep it a buck. You brought it on yourself, but they're going to watch all that. And then once the trust is gone, think about it, fellas. Because I know if I was in these shoes, I would be the same way. If somebody would, have indiscretions with you with infidelity, and the first thing you're going to say as a man to a woman is, are you thinking, can I trust this woman? So you can't get mad at the ladies for that, because the biggest thing about trust is it's not when you in front of them. It's not when they're in front of you. It's when you gone. It's when you're not in the eyesight. It's not when they're talking. It's not when they're not talking to you on the phone. It's not when they see you at home and you eating dinner. It's not when you're out on a function. It's not when you say you both got kids. It's not when you and her are with the kids and y'all doing things. It's when y'all are separated from each other that brings up the wondering of what is he doing? Where is he at? Why he is not answering his phone? And you know women gonna do that. And it is legit times that you're not answering your phone because of work or something that's coming up, that you're really silent with that, you're not doing nothing. Boy, but you better not have a consistency of not answering your phone, where you was at, okay, again, your GPS is, you said you was somewhere, but your GPS doesn't follow that up, because believe me, them women is on it, man. They're examining everything. They're like a prosecuting lawyer. They're gonna cross-examine you, especially when the infidelity has came and now their trust weighs in the bag. They don't have no trust no more. 10 to 15% of couples have filed for divorce. Reconcile, reconciliation, and get back together. 6% of divorced couples remarry each other, indicating a smaller chance of reconciliation after divorce. 60 to 75% of couples remain together after infidelity, not because they love each other, but for uncertainties. So, 15% of couples who file for divorce, and then they get back together. That's still a real low number. What it tells me there, the infidelity does damage sometimes that you can't come back on. 10 to 15%, and I believe still that 10 to 15%, you won't have a love. It's going to take a long time building. It's going to take a long time getting back to that point where we was all silent on the love and the devotion and the commitment of the relationship. 6% of divorced couples remarry each other, indicating a small chance of reconciliation. I think that's only that because, well, there's 2 or 3 things. Maybe they really love each other, or maybe they looking at it like this. They both get in the bag, and they both have great, careers, so they think they can build something together. Maybe it's not the love, because, a woman wants to be secure financially, but she might see this man as, okay, he's making great money financially, and I'm making great money financially, or maybe he's just making great money financially, so I would be offering, or I will attempt, or I will consider and go back to him and remarry him. But still, 6% is a low number. Well, again, infidelity has shown its presence. Infidelity still outweighs everything, because 6% is a low number. That's basically 5%. That's basically, you're not going to get back together, remarry. 6%, that's very low, very low. And then 60 to 75% of couples remain together after infidelity, not for love, but for uncertainty. Because I believe a lot of times they just lonely and they don't want to be alone. They don't. Because if somebody is cheating on you, and again, it can be circumstances where forgiveness and a second chance was needed, or was evident, or was deserved and was earned. Hear me this again. Again, maybe infidelity is circumstances where a second chance was earned and deserved. But if you're there for uncertainty, I believe, again, you don't want to be alone, even though this person might cheat on you. You still used to them, their ways, how they get along. And maybe you figure that you can still change them. But as they say, it's not for love, it's uncertainty. So you really just still together because you don't know why. I again think you just don't want to be alone. You know how many people, young or old, don't want to be alone? But again, aren't you kind of settling that away? That's what it seems to me. You still with this person because of their indiscretions, and their indiscretions are infidelity. 60 to 75% percentage or percentile, or the percentage that's was straight up surveyed. You're settling. You're not doing nothing but settling. And a lot of time, settling can come to bite you in the rear end. How many discretions before a woman refused to reconcile? 2 pennies